Does equipment increase the value of a business? Suppose you own a manufacturing company and last year you bought a CNC machine, a machine that computer controlled that increases the efficiency of manufacturing, and you paid $450,000 for that machine. Or maybe you own a trucking company and you had to replace your fleet. Or perhaps you invested several $100,000 to renovate your restaurant. Do you believe that now your business is worth several $100,000 more? Most business owners would say yes, but that's not the right answer. The correct answer is maybe, but probably not. I'm Joe Caffrey, president of Worldwide Business Brokers, a company I founded back in 2001. And in this video, we talk about how assets, these assets and others, impact business value. Now, if you've watched the videos in our What's My Business Worth series, you've probably heard me say on a number of occasions that most buyers, especially financial buyers, are not interested very much in your assets. They're interested and they're considering buying the cash flow, the discretionary earnings, what your business really makes. They ask one question: what's this business going to put into my pocket? Now, that's the starting point for almost every business valuation, because the answer to that question is what the buyer is going to buy. If your business earns $500,000 a year, that's what the buyer is interested in. And if comparable businesses in your field have sold for 3 or 4 times their earnings, that's the rough starting point for establishing the value of your business. And I stress rough starting point. So where do assets fit in? Well, it's important to understand that the FF&E, the furniture, fixtures, and equipment, that doesn't add any value to the business by itself. The mistake many owners make is that they think, well, I just put $300,000 into this business with new equipment, so my business is now worth at least $300,000 more. That's highly unlikely to be the case. Ask yourself this: what did that equipment actually do? Did it increase production? Did it reduce labor cost? Did it improve quality of whatever product or service you're delivering? Did it increase sales? Did it improve the profit margin? If the answer to the last question is yes, the equipment probably increased earnings. But it's those increased earnings that increase the value of the business, not the new equipment. The new equipment itself isn't what the buyers are paying for. They're paying for the additional cash flow that this new equipment provides. Let's look at 2 examples, both sides of the same coin. Company A buys a $450,000 CNC machine. Before the purchase, the company had discretionary earnings of $400,000 every year. After installation of this new equipment, production increased by 50%. Labor costs fell. Scrap was reduced. Now, discretionary earnings were nearly $600,000, a $200,000 increase. Did the business become more valuable? Of course it did. But not because the equipment cost $450,000. It became more valuable because now it produces more than $200,000 of additional cash flow every year. That's what the buyers are paying for. The other side of this coin is an interesting approach, and you need to understand this. A restaurant owner spends $250,000 to completely renovate their dining room. Beautiful lighting, new furniture, updated decor, just a fabulous bar. But 6 months later, sales have been static, profits haven't changed, customer traffic hasn't changed. Did the business value increase by $250,000? No, it didn't. The renovation may have helped on a competitive level, and it may have kept the business from losing customers, but if it didn't improve earnings, it didn't improve the value. Now, you might be thinking that if buyers are paying so much attention to earnings, what do they care about the equipment? Well, it's a good question, but the answer is that the equipment affects risk. Put yourself in the buyer's seat for a moment, and suppose you're considering two different manufacturing companies, but they're very identical. One has modern, well-maintained equipment. The other one has machinery that's 30 years old and is constantly breaking down. Which business would you rather own? Even if the current earnings were identical, the newer equipment reduces future capital expenditures and operational risk. That by itself could justify a stronger, higher multiple. So equipment often influences value indirectly by impacting both earnings and future risk. There are a few exceptions. Some businesses are absolutely, horrendously asset heavy. Construction, manufacturing, transportation, heavy equipment rental. In those businesses, the assets themselves represent a significant portion of the business's value. In some cases, an asset-based valuation would be warranted, along with an earnings-based valuation, particularly where tangible assets make up a significant portion of the business's worth. But for most operating businesses, buyers still start with the earnings. The business's assets support those earnings, but by themselves they don't automatically add the value to the business itself. Now here's a warning for you, and it's a mistake we see owners make all the time, and we discussed this in a previous video. Many owners continue to carry obsolete equipment on their balance sheet. Old trucks, broken machinery, outdated computers, equipment that hasn't run in years. Owners assume those assets add value. They don't. They can hurt value because buyers can begin asking, well, what other things haven't been maintained? This is one of the reasons we discussed in that previous video the importance of cleaning up the balance sheet before bringing your business to market. Remove obsolete assets. Write down worthless equipment. It does nothing to enhance the value of your business and can, in fact, damage its value. Present an accurate picture of what a buyer is going to get when they buy. So the bottom line here is that the FF&E, the furniture, fixtures, and equipment, absolutely matter, but not for the reasons that most owners believe they do. Equipment creates value when it helps generate greater earnings or reduces future risk. Simply spending money on new equipment does not automatically increase the value of your business, and what you spend on that equipment has no impact on the value of your business. It's what the equipment does for the earnings. Remember, buyers don't buy equipment. They buy the income that equipment generates. In our next video, I recount an actual and unusual FF&E situation that was encountered by one of our brokers a number of years ago and how we resolved it. In that case, the value of the FF&E was almost identical to the value of the business itself. So subscribe so you don't miss that one or any of our future videos on how to value and sell businesses. All the videos mentioned in this video, as well as other resources for valuing and selling businesses, are all linked to in the description below. And if you have any questions about anything that we discussed here, or any aspect of valuing and selling businesses, put your question in the comments box and we'll answer every one of them. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button. It would help us. And don't forget to subscribe. And finally, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.